And we want to start with Aruna Miller. She's a Democratic nominee for Lieutenant Governor with Maryland's gubernatorial candidate, Wes. Aruna, thank you so much for being here and welcome to Cap Review. And I got to start by asking, what was your reaction after the August primaries when there were 10 Democratic candidates for governor, 10 for lieutenant governor, and you and Wes won with 32% of the vote?
It was a moment of pure exhilaration, but I have to tell you also one of humbleness and gratitude. We are so grateful to be in this moment today that Maryland voters, looked at these exceptional candidates that were running in the primary, as you mentioned, 10, right? And they ran very, spirited races, and we came out of it in the end winning. And we are so grateful for the electorate who chose, our campaign.
So how did this partnership with Wes even happen? Because he's never ran for, held public office. You have. So did someone connect you both? And how did you guys ultimately decide we're going to be running mates and possibly the next leaders of Maryland?
Great question. So I met Wes in October of 2021. And my husband and I actually went to Baltimore to meet him and his wife when they reached out to us. And I got to tell you, we talked with him for about 45 minutes. My husband and I walked away from that moment. We looked at each other and we said, Wes is going to be the next governor of Maryland. It was just a gut reaction that we both had. And sure enough, that gut reaction is almost there. So that's how it happened. We met each other. Of course, Wes, I'm sure, had many other candidates that were interested in being a lieutenant governor. But he and I just, kicked it off really well immediately. And I am so grateful to be his running mate now.
So I want our viewers to get to know you. Who is Aruna Miller? I understand you immigrated with your family from India when you were 7 years old.
That's right. And I will never forget that first day when I came to the United States, Tazim. And I think every immigrant remembers their first moment of entering this country. Mine was in February 1972. And I, stepped off the airplane in my dad's arms. I looked into the airport and I saw this sea of people. And I thought every one of them was waiting for my dad and I to arrive to this country, and they were welcoming us. And then I got really excited when I thought, oh my gosh, I love this country. Look at this, they're throwing confetti at us to, even further welcome us. Well, I'd never seen snow before, so that's what was falling on us. It was not confetti, but snow. But here's the thing, I have never stopped being excited for this great country and the promise of the American dream and the opportunities it has to offer.
So, Aruna, if you and Wes win the general election in November, Wes will become the first black governor in Maryland, and you would also shatter records as well. At the state level, you'd become the first woman of color lieutenant governor in Maryland's history, and then at the national level, you would become the first South Asian female lieutenant governor ever in U.S. history. So talk to us the importance of representation for Marylanders, also for your mom and your 3 daughters who watched you do it all.
Thank you for that question. I think representation absolutely matters. When individuals see people that look like themselves, who've had a similar life as they've had, or even a professional background, that encourages more people to be engaged in the political process. And that includes from volunteering to be able to run for office themselves. So that's very exciting. Much like what you have done as a Bengali American, you're in the space of broadcast television. You don't normally see people that look like you with your background. So you've shattered also glass ceilings. So just like my mom is very proud, she would have never imagined that her daughter would ever be in a role like this, but she forgets we're in America, the land of opportunity where dreams do come true. And it's not enough that dreams just come true for yourself and your kids and, my kids. What's more important is that we make this dream possible for every American, in this country, and that's what it's all about.
And a lot more to talk about with Aruna, including her views on education, transportation, and women's reproductive rights. Stay with us. You're watching Capitol Review.